Thank you so much for coming out to Austin Fast Start, the pitch competition here for fashion. This is really exciting that we have so many people here to support our local industry, and it's just so good to see all of your faces out. Austin Fast Start, it's a recurring pitch competition designed to support Austin's early entrepreneurs and startups. Each Austin Fast Start focuses on a different industry, this cycle's industry being, of course, fashion. So the Austin Fast Start is a partnership between the City of Austin and the Austin Young Chamber. This is really something that was created really to help develop emerging startups and small business. And it's something that the city has really invested in. They've been an incredible support to all kinds of programs in this area, but especially this fast pitch competition. The Chamber focuses on equipping young professionals with the skills, experiences, and connections they need to be successful leaders and influencers in Austin, both today and in the future. If you're interested in learning more about becoming a member, please grab an info sheet at the registration table. So the registration table is here to my right. You can also see a list of the upcoming programs and events at austinyc.org. We've got a few here. So I want to say thank you to our event sponsor, the Texas McCombs MBA and the Texas McCombs MSTC. And thank you to our event partner, the Google Digital Coaches Program. If you take a quick online survey, you can enter into a drawing to win a Google Home Mini. So we have that here for you. So we definitely encourage you to do the survey. So you're going to visit the table to my right. Again, it's here off to the side, and you're going to submit your survey to Googler to enter the drawing. So there's Vicki here, and
the little cards. Yes.
It's a small cards here.
Write your name on it, and then we're going to drop it in that little yellow bag behind you, and you'll get to take the home mini with you tonight.
Excellent. Thank you, Vicki. So we also just want to give you a little bit of housekeeping. If you're looking for the restrooms, you're going to go around out this door and around to the back hallway, and it's just on the back side of this wall here. So you'll be able to find the restrooms. Again, I just want to go over what the application process was for this event. Back in June, the Austin Young Chamber submitted the opportunity for applications, and it went out to local fashion startups and small businesses and throughout their network. For this competition, the fashion industry was broadly defined as apparel businesses, soft goods, accessories, but also looking at how can we improve service or store experiences in our industry. The applications were scored by 4 judges representing small business, startup, fashion, and investor communities. And from that scoring process, we determined our top 4 finalists who are pitching tonight. Actually, we're doing top 3 finalists tonight. I have the pleasure of introducing our judges seated here in front. So I'll just ask you to stand quickly. Samuel Alexander, I'm so sorry, I apologize. I gestured it's my fault, I gestured in your direction. Samuel Alexander, founder and CEO of Concept to Consumption. Thank you. Nick Shagan, I apologize for that earlier. Program manager and facilitator with 3 Day Startup. Thank you, Nick. Rosa Rios Valdez, CEO of Business and Community Lenders of Texas. And Vicki Sepulveda, CEO at Cross Bridges Consulting and Google Digital Coach. Thank you. And thank you, Vicki, for ushering us into this beautiful space. I know it's a lot of back and forth, but we really appreciate everything. Thank you.
Enjoy the view, take pictures.
The view is gorgeous. Thank you so much. It's a really beautiful location. So thank you, judges, for your time and expertise during this application process. Tonight's winner will be determined by a combined judges' score and an audience vote. So you get a chance to participate in tonight's winner. Judges will score each finalist to account for 80% of their score, and the audience vote will account for the remaining 20%. After all 3 finalists have pitched this evening, we will display a screen with a text-to-vote number for each of you to cast your vote for the best pitch. So each of you will get one vote. So now, without any further delay, let's get started. Our first pitch is from the first business is Joey Rowe. It's pitched by Alfie, the CEO, and Nicole DeAngelis, assistant.
So, okay, you're probably going, is this like a neutering commercial or what? But seriously, I actually have a way normal life for a millennial's dog. I mean, I get up, I lick myself, and I pick out my outfit. Mommy and I are besties, and we want the world to know. That's why we designed mix and match accessories for pets and the people who love them.
I'm Nicole, and this is Alfie. Joey Rowe is our premium line of products that celebrates the special bond between pets and their people.
It starts with a collar that pairs seamlessly and securely with a beautifully functional leash, quality bow ties that won't irritate your buddy, and bandanas that stay put. Each pet accessory is designed with a human counterpart. Right now, we have headbands, scarves, keychains, bow ties, and Apple Watch bands.
By pre-ordering a product or two, you're giving us working capital to move into mass production and develop additional styles.
And you're getting a sweet deal on some new duds.
For more information about Joey Rowe, go to joeyrowe.com. Oh, thank you. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Thank you for having Alfie and I here today. I wanted to take a moment and explain the inspiration behind the concept of Joey Rowe. Growing up, my parents used to love dressing my sister and I up alike for family photos and other occasions, and I know other families have done similar things. It's recently gained a resurgence. We're seeing celebrities like Beyonce and Kim Kardashian and even Katie Holmes dressing their kids up like them. But kind of taking that concept alone and building a business on that isn't a strong enough differentiator to really stand out in the market. So I was looking for something, oh boy. Sorry, this is a little, okay, I think one of my slides is missing, but that's okay. So I was taking a nod from Pandora. If you aren't familiar with their bracelet, it is a signature piece of jewelry that is designed to pair with their beads and their beads alone. And they offer these beads on a regular basis for holidays, special occasions. And by doing that, they've driven really strong brand affinity and recurring revenue with their business model. So I borrowed from that concept, mixing with the mini-me fashion, and I arrived at the target audience of millennials with pets. Now, luckily, 75% of millennials have pets. And in fact, 75% of millennials are choosing to have dogs over children. And 75% say that they're more likely to splurge on their pet than themselves. If we look at the market sizes of both pet products and fashion industries, we could be looking at a $320 million opportunity. The go-to-market approach is going to focus on a crowdfunding campaign initially. That will test product market fit, and we will drive people to the campaign via digital channels, including social. We will collaborate with relevant brands and influencers, and we'll focus really heavily on conversion rate optimization. The last part of the promotion that I'm most excited about is the opportunity to collaborate with local animal welfare organizations. So I'd love to come and bring Joey Rowe products, groomers, and photography to come and help them better market their animals to potential adopters. And then we'll be able to use that by them tagging us on their social media and what have you. So to wrap things up, based on our supply chain and the price point of the product, we're looking at profit margins that are 3 to 4 times above industry standard. We've also have this built-in recurring revenue strategy. It's a very niche value proposition. And most importantly, we have an enthusiastic growing market. And I forgot to mention that I also have 10 plus years in marketing and advertising and have played roles across product management, project management, and design. So, and Alfie brings his very cute personality. Thank you. I'm looking forward to your questions.
Excellent. So we're going to now open up questions for the next 8 minutes with the judges first.
Where are you manufacturing, Janet? I'm sorry.
That's a great point. That's perfect.
Yes, in China. I tried to do it in the US for quite a while, and eventually I found out it was impossible, much to my chagrin.
Can you tell me about tell me about the profit margin, 3 to 4 times higher? What are you basing that on?
I'm basing that on the average total cost of goods and the price point at which we plan to sell it.
And so what about the competitor? What's the difference between you and a competitor product?
Well, so I was basing that off of industry average for retail products, for soft goods. I don't really know what the profit margins are of competitors yet.
How long has your pre-order campaign been open, and how many pre-orders do you have the dates?
So I should have mentioned that. This is the first official debut of that video. I'm working on building up a social following and working with partnerships with relevant brands and influencers before I kick off the crowdfunding campaign. So I want to make sure that all of those ducks are in a row before that happens. I'm looking to do that within the next month or two.
Question, have you offered this to any major vendors yet?
I plan to sell direct to consumer online. Eventually, after I validate the product line and that the consumers are happy with it, then I may expand to retail as well.
So all the fabrics and the leather, it's all being manufactured in China?
That's correct.
And have you received product samples? Is that what you're kind of wearing now? And
Yes.
but you're not selling anything currently?
No, the first step will be the crowdfunding campaign.
Okay. How quickly is China able to get the product here to Austin?
So for samples, it's been really fast. It's been about 10 days. And once the samples are ready to ship, they send it overnight, and it takes not like more than a day or two.
Oh, okay.
For mass production, we're looking at about a 45-day lead time. So that's not really that bad.
And are you doing Alibaba or?
I am.
Okay, great.
I can just project. Works too. So what you kind of put in your competitive analysis is that the value prop of your business is really that you have interchangeability
Yes.
between the features. So
Yes.
are you working on filing a patent for this specific piece of the, I guess, collar?
Yes, I am looking at filing a utility patent, so starting with a provisional patent. That's also part of the reason why I haven't posted any of the pictures of the collar online, because I need to get that squared away with an attorney first. And I'm hoping that if I am granted the award for tonight, that I can use that towards the utility patent.
Okay, I think we have a couple of questions from the audience. Oh, sorry, excuse me,
My
Rissa.
last question is, how much are you trying to raise with your crowdfunding?
So I am targeting a pretty small goal of just $5,000, and hopefully I will exceed that.
Okay, I believe we have one more question from the audience.
Yeah, I've done Kickstarter before, and do you have any advisors on it? Because it is a very specific game, and how you enter it, particularly in the first few days, really determines the value there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm working with advisors on it. That's part of the reason why I want to build up a following before I'm ready to go live.
What do you hope to get out of the Kickstarter that would be different from not using it?
So it will fund some of my mass production costs, and it will also validate that the products that I'm selling are actually things that people want to buy. I hope they are, but this will be the true test. And it will also let me know which styles people are going to buy, so I can figure out very clearly before I make large orders.
What is your minimum order from your factory?
100 units.
Last question for me is, I know that in like the dog market nowadays, like a vest product is more and more popular. It doesn't like
Yeah.
kind of choke the animal. Is that something that you're looking into?
Absolutely. That's more expensive and a little bit more difficult to produce. The collar is a little bit more low-hanging fruit, so I want to start with that and then absolutely move to harness and other accessories, for that matter, down the line as well.
Are there any additional questions from the audience?
I guess so. Oh, cool. Hello. Who's like the target customer, like the target market, like what demographic of dog owners? You're not selling this to all dog owners, right?
Right. So dog owners like me that like to post pictures of themselves with their dogs. And luckily, they're kind of easy to find via hashtags and lookalike audiences on Facebook. But interestingly enough, as I've pursued this a little bit further, I've learned that my mom's cohort is actually quite interested in this. So I definitely am taking that into mind. I think that the millennials can be the trendsetters, and then my parents' demographic could be the ones that actually pay for the products.
Okay, well, if we,
Do you have any competitors in the market that you look at? You said that you know like what's there exactly?
Yes, so there are some competitors in the market. They're all doing slightly different things. The mini-me concept exists. It's really done at a small scale, though. A really great brand that I admire a lot is Wild One. They've done amazing with social media and their marketing and their branding, but they don't do any mix and match basically the things that we're doing. But I would say that they're probably our greatest competitor, just given their popularity amongst our target audience. And then Friendship Collar has been around, and that to me is a really great indication that this is something people want. The basis of Friendship Collar is a bracelet that matches the dog collar, and they've done very, very well.
excellent. Well, thank you so much. We'll
Thank you, guys.
We'll go ahead and close. Okay. I want to introduce a couple of things before we get to the next person. So this is Catchbox, who I'm going to try not to drop. This is the way we're going to start the Q&A is we're actually going to spend a few moments with the judges first, and whenever the judges have finished all of their Q&A, we'll go to the audience, and the audience will pass Catchbox. So it's a little difficult for us to hear all of your very good questions, so we just want to make sure that everyone can hear just your thoughtful comments and remarks, okay? So we'll make sure to pass that along shortly. So our next business, are we ready? Okay. So our next finalist to pitch is the business Mary Claret from Andy Day, owner and designer. Come on up, Andy.
Hello. Hi, everyone. everyone. My name is Andy Day, and I'm the owner and designer of Mary Claret, a contemporary women's design house based in Austin, Texas. So I started my career in the fashion industry as a stylist and costumer for the film and television industry. And let me tell you, as a stylist, we spend a ton of time at the mall shopping for our actors to find clothing that is flattering to them, fits the character. And when you spend a significant amount of time shopping like I did, you really start to see what is out there available for women to buy. And when I'm shopping for actors, I'm looking for people with all different body types, all different age ranges. And as I was shopping for these different characters, I really determined that there was a problem within the women's apparel industry, that the way that clothing is currently designed for mass audiences is that it's all designed to fit women with an hourglass figure. It's ignoring people that have apple shape, that have a pear shape, that have an inverted triangle, whatever your body type is. Is this mic working? I can't quite tell. It is? Okay, closer? Okay. Whatever body type that women have outside of this traditional hourglass, clothing wasn't really being produced for them. And so I became interested in trying to design clothing for people that have different body types than this hourglass that the mass industry is creating clothing for. So this customer is really being denied access to a garment that fits them and flatters their body. So I created Mary Claret, which is a contemporary brand based here in Austin, in which we focus particularly on our customer is women between the ages of 25 and 55 who are interested in buying contemporary apparel that can flatter their body. And I'll explain this a little more as I go. So my customers shop small. They're looking to invest in brands they really care about. They prefer garments with easy care, as many of us do. And they often prefer natural materials because of breathability, comfort, as well as investment shopping. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the term a capsule wardrobe. My customer is interested in investing in products that they're going to have in their closet for a long time. They're not necessarily a fast fashion customer. They're looking for long-term products. Here's a little bit more about my product. We pre-wash all of the fabrics so that they're machine washable. So after we produce the garment, we wash them, shrink them. We prepare for this in the development process so that when you take your garment home, it fits you the same for the rest of its life. If you've ever had the problem of washing a garment on accident, dealt with its shrinkage, we deal with this beforehand to help you. We cut the garments with added comfort for the aesthetic purposes and comfort of our customer. And to explain this a little bit better so you understand what I'm talking about, what we do is we add fullness to areas of the garment to help the garment better fit a wider range of customers. So this picture is of one of my wrap skirts, which is a product we sell. And I incorporate more fullness in the hips, which fits a broader range of customers, allowing for more body types to fit into the apparel. Let me give you another example of a brand that's done something similar in the menswear area is Bonobos. Bonobos started by just changing the shape of their waistband. A lot of men's brands have just a straight waistband. They created a curved waistband that allows the garments to snug to men's bodies easier, more comfortable to wear. So it's a simple design change, but it really changes the brand and creates an audience that is broad for us to acquire. We believe in inclusive sizing. So we currently carry sizes extra small through 2X, so that's size 0 through 18. And the categories of apparel that we're in are ready-to-wear, luxury, sleepwear products or loungewear, and gifts. So a little bit more about the brand. All of our products are made in Texas. We import materials. They're all natural, so we use linen, cotton, silk primarily. And we produce all of our products in Texas using sewing contractors as well as in-house production. So we design all of our products in-house, use sewing contractors throughout the state to produce our products. Our product is primarily sold direct to consumer online, so we have the best margins. We also acquire customers through craft fairs and pop-ups. We're aligning with Austin's fashion initiative to grow the apparel industry here, and our goals for the company are to continue working with local manufacturing, continue to increase employment of local people, and one day be able to have our own in-house production where we can produce all of our own products as well as products for other brands when there is availability. Oops. My name's Andy Day. I'm the founder and designer. I have a strong background in the apparel industry, and I know how to build this brand in Austin. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions.
So I'm so happy that you're making it here in Austin. I love that. Tell me where you're getting your fabrics from.
So primarily, linen is my most used material. So most of my products are made of linen. I use some silk and cotton. But for the most part, we don't produce linen in the U.S., so I have to import it. And I import it from primarily Eastern Europe.
Have you gone to the market yet? Are you selling clothing?
Yes, I've been in business for a little under 2 years, and so I do sell. I'm in a few boutiques. I've experimented with different sales methods, and I primarily use direct-to-consumer through my website, but I do sell at like events to try to bring in more customers. So yeah, my product is available for sale, and I've been doing it for a little while. And the customer that I've acquired continues to come back whenever I produce new products. If I was to win this event, the funds would go toward working to develop more products, because I have a fairly limited product line right now, and I would add more products that customers have been talking about and have been asking about for a while. Also, I'm a 3DS alumni. Yeah.
What's your timeline for your in-house production?
Okay, that's a great question because it can vary significantly. So I had done most of the product development myself. So when it comes to in-house production, that would often be me or someone I've hired to help me currently, which in-house, literally in my house. It varies by the product, but currently one of my offerings for customers is that for example, my wrap skirt, I offer it in multiple lengths to accommodate for women of different heights. So 6 sizes, 3 lengths, 8, that's a lot of different products. So currently, when producing those, I just let the customer know it's going to be a 3-week turnaround time. The actual production of the product is relatively quick. I carry some inventory of fabric, but the customer understands in this case, getting a made in USA product, they understand they're going to be waiting a little while on it. I do carry some products as inventory as well.
What is your price range?
So I have an introductory price point product that's like a bandana at $20, and this is really a product to be like, hey, do you want to buy Made in USA? Here's how you can. And then for the most part, my products are in the low hundreds to mid hundreds.
If we have any questions from the audience?
I'm just curious, I'm also a designer and I produce here in Austin, actually. Oh, it's a microphone.
It's a microphone.
Wow.
It's in fact.
What are your gross margins for your direct-to-consumer model?
So with direct-to-consumer, it depends on the product, because a lot of times I develop the product, and as I'm still working through the product like development, I will often take a product to the customers to see how they like the product before I'm really like, this is my product, bam, it's on the market. I'll produce like 15 of it just to start and then kind of see how it goes, make changes to the product. So it depends on the particular product. It just depends on the particular product and at what point in the development process I'm at.
But is
Getting
there a
the
range
cost
that
down.
you shoot for?
What?
Is there a
I
range
shoot
in your gross margin?
For like selling the product at a 3 times markup is what I would, for direct to consumer, yeah.
15 per color, because you make 3 to 4 colors per item that you do, right?
Oh, when I was talking about the skirts, is that what you were, oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I was just wondering about like whenever you're like doing samples or your examples.
Oh.
Once you know that they're in the market, you want to make that, fill that. How many do you do per color? Was that 15 total?
Well, I think what I was trying to say was, for example, I can use like local craft fairs to take the product in person to kind of see how it sells, where I can, kind of get customer responses. So it all depends on the production run. For something like a bandana, I would produce my first run of 250 bandanas.
Right.
A smaller product might be 50 units. I'm still like fairly small quantities. Part of what I think makes my well, I don't have a ton of products, but I have various colors. So I'll have like 4 different colors of one style, and that kind of increases the quantity of styles I have by just color. If that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hi, so I'm in wholesale apparel, and I saw that that was I guess like an avenue you're exploring. But with your markups and direct to consumer, how would you, I guess, work with a company to do private label or for them to sell your products? Just because I don't think the margins could be that high in wholesale.
Yes, and I have a background in wholesale too, and
Okay.
I also so wholesale is something I kind of experimented with as I've been trying to determine like perhaps what the proper sales model is for me, and part of it at the price point I like to sell my products at. So this like linen blouse you see in the picture I sell for $136 on my website. In wholesale, you probably know that that would be pretty low at a wholesale, or that would be pretty low at retail. To think about wholesale margins. So I primarily use wholesale as just an avenue to get the product into different locations, less of a really a revenue source. Direct to consumer is really the method that works best for my business.
Yeah, I have a question. In your roadmap, your business roadmap, do you have renting where they can rent the apparel? Do you have that even
Renting is
considered?
not something I've considered. I frequently do a lot because I'm a small business here in Austin, and people that locally know me. I frequently get customers who will want to come over and try on different lengths and basically get like custom, sort of not custom sizing, but they'll see I offer 3 skirt lengths and 5 sizes, and they'll want to find out for themselves what looks best on them rather than ordering and waiting for the product. So while I don't do like a rental offering, I think that that is an option of the extended sizing that I have is an example of how I can provide to more customers, which rental might be for a different business. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have you tested via video, particularly probably on Facebook or Instagram, whether women actually identify with this problem being solved? Does it actually catch for them and convert, or?
Does anyone in here have trouble finding clothing that fits them? Women? So, yes, I don't know if I said the statistic at the beginning, but 46% of women say they have trouble finding clothing that fits them. So it's a real problem. Whether people recognize it's a problem or not for themselves, that's different. But yes, it is something that women recognize. I haven't done any testing necessarily because I read some information about it. Perhaps I should. But it's something I found that if the product is communicated clearly to the customer and they understand how it might be a little different than everything else they buy off the rack, they understand that it might fit them better. Like, for example, people that are a pear shape, they're like, oh, let me try this skirt on. I can never fit my hips into blah, blah, blah. I'm like, try it. It's designed to fit people with different builds. And they're normally very excited about the fit. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We will introduce you, Raja Atlery from Sway. We're so happy to have you, our third and final finalist for the night.
Hi everyone, I'm Raja and I'm a co-founder of Sway. First, let's meet Sam and Sasha, two 22-year-olds living and working in New York City. They have a couple of events coming up this week, and so let's take a look. First, work. Then they go to a cocktail party. And the next morning, they head to brunch. And next, they have bar hopping. As you could see, Sam could probably get away with wearing the same outfit for all of the different events, while Sasha had to change her outfit for each of these events. This is because men's clothing tends to have a little bit more versatility and is less occasion specific, while women's clothing tends to be more occasion specific. And Sasha's not alone in this. 60% of women change their outfit at least twice a day, and 40% complain daily about having nothing to wear. Compared to 15 years ago, people buy 60% more clothing and use it for half as long. In an age of fast fashion and social media, consumers are conditioned to expect newness, especially for those in Gen Z and millennials. When an item is photographed and uploaded to social media, its wearability significantly decreases. For women who don't always want to wear the same thing and who want to try out different styles, sometimes their only option is fast fashion retailers, which offer clothing in a variety of styles for a very low cost. This then creates a constant cycle of buying, which wastes time, money, and has an incredibly harmful impact on the environment. Rather than just making clothing more sustainable, we asked ourselves, what if we changed the way that people bought clothing? In fact, why do we need to own clothing at all? Sway offers clothing as a service to save time, money, and the planet. For the past year and a half, we've been establishing product market fit. So we had different products from a variety of retailers, and we did this through affiliate marketing. And through this, we garnered 36,000 unique visitors from our curated and affordable product mix. Now we're taking things one step further, and we're holding our own inventory and allowing our customers to rent from us directly. And we're launching the beta for this in July. This has some key benefits. It saves users time and money. It also allows them to refresh their wardrobe, as well as promote sustainability and feel confident in what they're wearing. So we do realize we have some competitors in this area, but we wanted to highlight a few differentiators that we think are pretty significant. One is that we have clothing in a variety of ranges, from more casual clothing to fancier clothing. We also have a low price point for the service itself. We cater to younger women, and we offer rentals. This is different from competitors like Rent the Runway, which cater to a slightly older crowd, as well as has a higher price point for the service. And competitors like Stitch Fix and Curtsy only offer buying for the customer as an option. So we're focusing on this younger demographic of undergraduate college women for 3 reasons. One, as co-founders, we're part of this demographic and we understand their needs. 2, this demographic has largely been ignored by many of the rental services out right now because those rental services don't offer the right product mix and affordability that many college women are looking for. And 3, this demographic is very social, so they're attending many events and could really use our service. The way that we're targeting this market is through, right now, our ambassador program. So in the past year and a half, we've had 150 women at 24 campuses be part of our ambassador program, and they post on social media about Sway, as well as engage in different guerrilla marketing tactics. So let's get into the operations of this. So right now, the way that we're acquiring clothing is in 2 ways. We're buying some clothing, and we're also offering women the opportunity to exchange one of their pieces of clothing for a Sway credit. And that Sway credit allows them to rent a dress from Sway or any item. And this essentially is creating a loop where women are renting clothing from each other, with Sway facilitating that exchange. And it decreased the cost of inventory acquisition. And the product life cycle, essentially what happens is they go on our website, choose 3 items, we receive the orders, and deliver it through a local delivery system. This is taking advantage of the fact that many of our target market is in a high-density college area where they could easily be delivered to, and that gets our costs down. They then keep the items for 1 month, and then we get them back, and we run them through dry cleaning and store them in one of our warehouses. So this is some of our milestones from the past year. We've got some national traction through features in Vox, as well as working with some of these companies on refining our business model. And here's our roadmap coming up. And lastly, team. We're both students at the University of Texas at Austin. Thank you so much.
Open it up for the judges.
Have any questions?
Sure. Hi. Great presentation. Could you explain again the value prop? Because you have so many competitors. What is
Yes.
it exactly that makes you different?
So the key differentiators we think is right now there are a lot of rental services, but almost all of their price points start at $60 or $70 and above. And on a monthly basis, that's pretty expensive for a lot of undergraduate college women, for women this age. $70 a month for a rental service is something they can't afford. So we wanted to offer something at that lower price point. One of the ways that we're able to offer that lower price point is through a localized delivery system, because it's taking advantage of the fact that college students live in high-density areas where a lot of times they're living within 2 square miles of each other. And so that's one of the ways. And we're also offering a product mix geared at younger women and less on geared at, career women and, women shopping for work.
So you're able to lower your price point because you have clothing ships like directly to a campus where an ambassador then sells it to or gives it to your customers?
So we are handling the localized delivery, not the ambassadors. The ambassadors are the marketing effort. So basically, for one of the big costs for rental services is the shipping there and back because they have to send the clothes back. So that could be like $20 per package. And if $20 is just shipping, everything else increases that monthly because they build in the cost of free shipping into the monthly cost. So if we're hiring runners and they could deliver 5 packages an hour to the same 4 apartment buildings of all the students who live there or dorm buildings, that's decreasing our shipping costs.
So the last question about that, what do your margins look like compared to your competitors?
So if we've been advised by people that a lot of times runners have to be paid a higher hourly wage because if they're driving a car, the gas prices need to be offset as well. So if we're paying them like $15 an hour, they could, we haven't done the localized delivery yet, but if it takes them half an hour to deliver 4 packages in one building, that's essentially $7.50 for 4 packages one way versus $10 a package for 4 packages, that's $40. So $7.50, $40. We're saving a lot there.
So have you run financial projections based on what you expect your sales to be and your
Yes.
profit margins? Okay.
Yes, we have done our financials. Basically, one of the reasons that we're, looking for money is essentially we need to market this in order to offset some of those upfront costs that we've had to incur with warehousing and everything before we've actually launched the service itself. And so in 2019, we need to keep raising money, and then in 2020, we're set to hit profit.
So I want to be real clear. How would the 5,000 award benefit you?
So one of the big things is we need to spend it on marketing the service out and actually getting more users, because as we grow, it'll offset the costs more quickly.
You see.
Where do you get your clothes?
Where are you getting your clothing from?
Yes, so right now there's 2 ways that we're getting our clothing. One is we're purchasing clothing, but the second way, which has been basically the majority of our inventory, is we've been buying inventory from college women themselves. Often a woman in college might wear a dress once to her sorority formal, but she doesn't want to wear it again because she's already taken pictures in it. So these women have given us their dresses in exchange for a Sway credit. That credit then lets them rent an item off Sway. So women are kind of, in a way, swapping dresses, but Sway is doing that entire facilitation. And then as we go on, we want to move completely really to that. So all those upfront inventory costs basically go away, and we have higher profit margins.
So are you buying clothing from local stores here? Or I guess I want to know, like, where is the actual clothing that you're purchasing?
Yeah,
How are
yes.
you getting the styles and?
Yeah, so from this past year and a half, we've used several different retailers. We've gotten things from Nordstrom and from different places, and we've seen kind of what people like things from, Free People or Anthropologie. And we've also looked at some consignment stores that have nice quality things, but they're cheaper for us to acquire because they're used, so, yeah.
Thank you.
How do you handle defective or damaged products?
Sorry.
How do you handle anything that's been damaged?
Anything's damaged. So one of the things that we'll do that's pretty typical of rental models is if something is damaged, then they charge the customer with their card on file the cost of that item. We're thinking about implementing a rental insurance that people can choose to sign up for in order to cover that as well.
So how do you know what the cost of the product is if it's been used multiple times?
So we're setting the prices for them of what that retail price would be based on, the condition it's in and based on what it might sell online at a second-hand website or something like that.
Do we have any additional questions from the audience?
So I see that this is geared for college women, but are you also trying to sell collegiate apparel because that has licensing costs in it and that would lower your profit margins?
That's one of the reasons we didn't go into collegiate apparel. For sorority letters and all of that, you have to contact nationals and essentially get approval for that.
Yeah.
And they're already really big players in that area. And so we're trying to cater to what students wear when they're not wearing their collegiate apparel, which is pretty often.
Sorry. I like the sustainability angle on it. What happens to these garments at the end of their life?
Some things that we've thought about as we have to get rid of garments is donating them to things like Dress for Success and other charities that are able to then reuse those clothing so we're not just throwing them away.
So you talked about how you have been letting girls give you a piece from their wardrobe and then receive a credit. Are you guys like super picky about what you receive? Like, you know, when you go to a resale shop like Buffalo Exchange or something like that, you feel like you bring a whole garbage bag full of clothes and then they accept like one thing.
Yeah.
So how does that work with you guys?
We try to be selective in that we're choosing pieces we think other college women would also want to rent. One thing that does set us apart from Buffalo Exchange, I personally, when I go to Buffalo, I don't know how much they're gonna offer for that piece. And then you're standing there and they say, I'll give you $5 for this, and you have to make the decision right there. And that's a little stressful for a lot of people because you're like, I don't know if that's worth more. But if they could go into this knowing I will receive one Sway credit and I could rent any item off Sway with it, that lets people know what the deal is up front. And so they come in ready to do that. And when we, pick the item, it's a more comfortable experience, I think.
Awesome.
And, yeah.
With your boxes, and how many pieces do you usually rent out with that? Like you said, $30 plus per box. Is that like one piece or is it like 5 pieces?
3 pieces.
3 pieces. Okay, thank you.
How are you taking sizing and fitting into consideration?
So right now what we're doing is we're putting the different sizes of the garments and any fit details into the item description. And so people can filter by size and see what sizes work for them. But it's a simple model, it's a similar model to things like Rent the Runway where the sizing is up there and people essentially choose the dress that is their size and it comes to them.
Is there other like details that might be indicated, like the type of brand and stuff that they might be familiar with? Is that just going to be in the details as well?
Yes, and we're trying to also do other tags for the item, anything from like cinched at the waist, high neck, zippers, and those additional tags will actually help us. We're working on an algorithm using machine learning in order to figure out customer preferences, and based on as we collect more data, the model gets better. So that'll be stronger as we grow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, we want to thank all 3 of our finalists. This has been an incredible pitch competition. I want to thank all 3 finalists, Nicole, Andy, Raja. Thank you so much. All 3 of you presented very thoughtful, very well-designed business models, and so we're really excited to get to this part, which is the voting. So we're actually going to go put the voting instructions on the screen. You're going to text your selection to 512-540-3897. And if you want to vote for Joey Rowe, you'll text 1. If you want to vote for Mary Claret, you're going to vote 2. And if you would like to vote for Sway, you'll vote 3. So again, the number is 512-540-3897. So I just want to remind you that the audience vote is 20% and the judges vote is 80%. Get back on track, huh? All right, so congratulations, Dev. Thank you, Google. And now we're ready. So I want to announce what's in this prize package. Don't they always do that? They kind of do the wind up and they're like, no, tell me who won already. So $2,500 cash prize from the city of Austin. Oh, yes. And then in-kind prizes valued at $7,400. A 1-year elite membership to Austin Young Chamber. Thank you, Austin Young Chamber. 3 months of free rent at Capital Factory. All right. Global Conference Roundup ticket for 3-day startup. Thank you, Nick. LLC formation from the Haney Law Firm. Business coaching session from the Economic Growth Business Incubator. And one that I'm personally really excited to offer, courtesy of Sylnovia and Joy over at Economic Development, 3 months of residency at the ACC Fashion Incubator. So I want to invite Veronica, Business Information Coordinator for the City of Austin Small Business Program, to the stage to present the winner.
Thank you, Nina. My name is Veronica, and I'm with the Small Business Program. For those of you who aren't familiar with what we do here at the city, we're a division of the Economic Development Department, and we exist to offer resources and training, business coaching, anything we can do to help someone start a business, expand their business. So if you're an entrepreneur or you know an entrepreneur, be sure to grab one of our flyers on your way out. It'll be our services sheet just to get a snapshot of everything that we can do to help you grow your business. So before we get into our big winner, I have a few thank yous. Thank you to Google for hosting us today. We have an amazing view. This is a great space. Thank you also to each of our pitchers. You gave inspiring stories. Thank you for sharing your dreams with us, and we're all thrilled to be able to share in that journey with you. Thank you also to each of our judges for volunteering your time and helping shape this pitch competition. Thank you, Nina, for representing the ACC Fashion Incubator. And most of all, thank you, Austin Young Chamber. This has been a great growing partnership that we've been able to do, and they've really turned this pitch competition into something great. We always look forward to this event. So without further ado, let me invite Austin Young Chamber Board Chair Reese Cisneros with the big giant check. And now, our winner. Please help me welcome Mary Claret.
Congratulations. Yeah. Let's give her another.
Well, I want to just thank all the judges again. Thank you so much, Vicki, Samuel, Rosa, Nick. Thank you so much for your valuable insights, your questions. I actually need to just say one last thing. I believe it's Sam's birthday. So just a quick round of happy birthday. Sam's done a lot for the industry. If you know Sam, many of you do, and if you don't, you should. So definitely make your way over to say hello and happy birthday. All right. So I want to also mention that the next Austin Fast Start is going to be on September 9th, 2019, and it's going to be for mobility innovation. Please look for the applications and event details at the Austin Young Chamber website. So thank you again for coming tonight. It's a pleasure.